Out of all the Korean survival game show franchises, Bloody Game is my personal favorite. If you've never seen it, they take a bunch of celebrities, put them in a house, and eliminate one person a day by making them play games until there's one person left. I'm sure you can tell from the name, but what makes it different from other franchises is its encouragement of scheming, plotting, betrayal, bending the rules, and doing whatever it takes to win within set limits. If you want to see it, you really shouldn't watch this video because I'm spoiling everything. And that's because there's 3 seasons of the show currently out, but they just announced the spin-off called Bloody Game X dropping July 2026. So in this video, we're going to go over why this cast is so insane and also my predictions of how this one's gonna go and like who's gonna win. Again, heavy spoilers of literally everything, not just Bloody Game, but The Genius, Devil's Plan, University War, Singles Inferno, Exchange. I'm spoiling all of that, fair warning. Alright, so the first thing that's crazy about the show is that it exists. You know, this came out of nowhere. The last season, Bloody Game 3, released last year, and they make one every 2 years or so, so nobody was expecting anything this year, especially, with that season feeling so much like a perfect franchise conclusion. But actually, the direction they took for the spin-off is the same as other shows in the genre, like Physical 100 or Culinary Class Wars, where these shows are inherently individual games, but for subsequent seasons, they make them team-based. I am of the opinion that when people play for individual honor rather than team honor, it just changes the show completely. Like, it's not inherently good or bad, rather it's like a sweet food versus a salty food. It's just a different type of show that resonates differently to different people. That being said, okay, I do have a preference towards solo gameplay for these types of shows. This one in particular, though, again, because this franchise is all about betrayal and being selfish to achieve your own goals at the expense of others. And so to have like a spin-off seemingly about teamwork and the power of friendship seems contradictory to the DNA of the IP. But I'm excited to watch nonetheless. All right, so let's go over this cast. Bloody Game 1 had originally 10 people participating, but in this spin-off, there's 20 people divided into groups of 4. The first team is Team P1, the red team. You know, Bloody Game in Korean is a PA game or something like that. So this team is composed of the 4 OG players returning from that first season. First up, of course, we have the icon of betrayal, Park Ji-min. This is very much an unpopular opinion, but of all the seasons of Bloody Game, my favorite season is the first one. It's the only season produced by Jin Young-jin, the producer GOAT. I was going to say the GOAT, but I think that should be saved for the contestants. He's best known for Money Game, and I think because of that and the lower budget, it is just super raw and grimy compared to the other seasons. I mean, I love every member of that OG cast, but Jimin in particular is the one who carried the show for me. You know, she sat down episode 1 for the interview and said, guys, you know, I live like a very straightforward and honest life. So for this show, I just want to, you know, let loose a little. And she just went on a massacre. If you trace back any of the first 5 eliminations in that show, it all leads back to her. Like, anyone that she wanted gone was gone before the sunset. That play where she got the leader of the opposing faction to eliminate himself out of sympathy for her just to sit down for the interview after and just mock him lives rent-free in my head. Wow, that was like that was an insane tone setter. She's so cool, but because of that, she's actually my favorite female contestant in any of these shows, actually, and is the face of the franchise. She's also technically the only contestant to be in all 3 seasons because she was a contestant brought back for season 2, and then they had her work as like a cameo member, like a neutral member in season 3. But of course, she has to be on this team because, you know, the first season was her breakout. The second person on Team P1 is Big Woo, you know, Jung Kun-woo, former baseball player, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and famously the victim of Jimin in season 1. Look, I'll be so honest, Big Woo is unfortunately in contention for the weakest player on this list. His performance in season 1, he was just there for the vibes, let's be real, bro. I mean, this guy ate like good food and yapped until he decided to call it a day and just go see his family. The only possible thing I could think of that he brings to the table is that he is just so pure of heart and honest that, you know, in a franchise of betrayal, contestants love to work with people like him in alliances, meaning that he could be like a powerful political piece for his team. And that's exactly what happened in season 1, where he was, you know, he became the leader of the guy team because all the guys were like, yo, that guy's mad chill, like you should lead us. The third person on Team P1 making his return after 5 years is the winner of Bloody Game season 1, ex-police officer, now lawyer, Lee Tae-kyun. Now, I will say Tae-kyun is like the anchor of the team. I think they live and die by his performance, actually. He theoretically should be the best on the team when it comes to games, especially like individual gameplay. However, because his only television appearance is that first season of Bloody Game, he's kind of on fraud watch. Just because his resume is so shallow, you know, his big accolade is when he made that insane 21 card math formula during the expression game, single-handedly winning that event for his team, and that became the turning point of the season. But other than that, the question now is, you know, 5 years later, if he can showcase other aspects of his game. You know, we know he's good at math, but with this opportunity, will he prove that he can excel in games of pattern recognition, spatial perception, memory? He just hasn't been tested the same way other contestants have, especially with season 1 being a bit of a, you know, Mickey Mouse. But if you want to talk about experienced players, I can't believe this man is here. But the fourth person on Team P1 is my personal favorite survival show contestant of all time, the black magician Lee Sang-min, bro. Why this is so shocking is that Sang-min has never been a contestant for the show, okay? Season 1 is the only season with a reaction panel, and he was one of the hosts of that panel, so whenever Jimin would like betray someone, the camera would cut to him, and he would break down the pros and cons of that decision and analyze it with the rest of the cast, which is something that I very much miss on other seasons as a viewer who would rather not think for himself. Why I'm so excited to see Sang-min back as a contestant, though, is because this man is a true showman at heart, okay? When he makes decisions, he puts entertainment value at the forefront. Like, he somehow always pulls off these ridiculous schemes that seem just impossible to execute. So as the veteran player here, I fully expect him to lead this team. It's just that his playstyle is so unorthodox that you know he's gonna do something crazy, it's just whether or not he's actually gonna pull it off. But next up is the blue team, Team P2, representing the second season of Bloody Game. We have, of course, the man who underwent generational aura loss after losing to Dex in a strength game on the day of ambush. The best clip of the series, by the way. But standing at 7'3", the first Korean in the NBA, the troll, Ha Sung-jin. Wow. Just like Wembenyama, this man is a generational player, okay? I have never seen in my life a person, a man, degrade himself the way he did in Season 2. To disrupt other people in the show, he resorted to just manic behavior it's so impossible to convey like what he did. Basically, he developed his own gameplay style around trolling, where I'm just like really not ready for the acts of terror he's about to commit in this spinoff, especially because on his team, they're bringing back the snake, Yun-bi. Yun-bi is a survival game journeyman and an influencer boxer slash rapper, making him essentially like the Korean KSI. This guy is just like, the ethos of his gameplay style is argumentative frat guy energy. Like, he's all bark, no bite, and a contestant brought on purely to cause drama. I would say his best accolade is getting a song with Bobby Shmurda. But for survival games, I mean, his best survival game performance is like dropping a diss track on the show, Show Me the Money, so yeah. Also returning on this team is poker player Hyun Sung-ju. Poker players always do well on these types of shows, and Sung-ju already proved himself when he eliminated the 1v1 menace, you know, deathmatch demon Eureka in Season 2. It's just that he kind of exposed himself, though, as a one-trick, because he's good in betting games, but anything outside of that, it was actually a bit sad to watch, especially when he even lost to Jinho in a betting game. But, you know, finally, stuck with his team of destiny is the Doctor with the perfect CSAT score, the winner of Bloody Game Season 2, Jin Hyung. I'm actually really excited to see Jin Hyung's return, as I've always thought that the way he approached Season 2 was just so in alignment with the ethos of the show. Because even though he was the strongest individual player, he won by just being a snake. Like, he always got to the next round, even if it was unsightly. He had like some crazy losses there, but he still somehow like never got eliminated. And you know, that's what it's all about, man. Like, it was a bit of a Mickey Mouse victory in the end, but the results speak for themselves. Representing Season 3, we have Team P3, the green team. The leader of this team is, of course, the progenitor of survival games, former StarCraft pro player, League of Legends team coach, my good friend Outlace's favorite survival show contestant of all time, the Storm Zerg, Hong Jin-ho. This man truly started it all. He's in GOAT conversations with an impressive survival show resume spanning over, what, like 10 plus years now? And when it comes to calculation, strategy, individual prowess, this man is top tier. His only weakness is that he just plays too honest and straightforward, which I feel like now makes him really predictable to other players. That being said, joining him, we have Keist's heartthrob, influencer and model, Ho Sung-bum, and Utah's finest rapper and senior survival game player, Zitza. Not gonna lie, this team is stacked, okay? These are two of the most versatile survival game players of all time, and they're paired together under Jinho's leadership. Sung-bum is a strong two-way player, where I think his breakout in the survival game genre was University War Season 1, where he had a real unique showing of reliable leadership combined with just high computational ability. You know, in Bloody Game 3, he showcased the opposite, actually, where he acted as more of a right-hand man and had to focus on teamwork and communication. His special move is that when he locks in, he covers his ears to think, because he's like sensitive to sound or something. Meanwhile, there's Zitza, who is someone who's involved in a lot of these smaller survival game shows without good English translation, but at this point, he's like a borderline veteran, maybe not there yet, but he's worked alongside Jinho in 2 seasons of the show already, soon to be 3 now. And the thing about Zitza is he actually has a really good clutch gene. I feel like he always loses when the stakes are low, but pulls through when the stakes are high. And just on top of that, he's a very well-rounded player when it comes to, you know, politics, individual gameplay, teamwork, everything. But I mean, to round out an already well-rounded group, we have the golden girl of Singles Inferno 3, Hazel Choi, aka Choi Hyesun. Hyesun didn't have a very good showing last season. Like, Dongmin exposed her during the Mafia game, and because she took a very uncharacteristically aggressive approach on day 1, she was just immediately kicked out. But actually, she's very skilled. I mean, she was the second person to solve the opening riddle. She just completed her master's in England now. She works at a London consulting firm or something, in addition to being a model and influencer, of course. But it's just that maybe this isn't the best franchise for her because she's too honest and straightforward. So I think that people just easily outmaneuvered her every time she went for a play. So I guess we'll see here, but actually Jinho is a good teammate for her because of that, since their gameplay styles align. The final two teams are comprised of new contestants to the franchise. These are the rookies, aka the orange team, and the challengers, aka the purple team. Starting with the rookies, we have Kwakbum and Choi Yunchung. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I have no clue who these people are. If you want to hit me with a lore drop in the comments, feel free. Research shows that Kwakbum is a comedian and Choi Yunchung is a former Miss Korea model with like 3 million followers on IG, but how they're gonna approach these games, I could not tell you. The more exciting additions to me are these two. Firstly, we have the enemy of all women, okay? The main character of Singles Inferno Season 3, Lee Guan-hee. Singles Inferno 3 is my favorite season of the show, and it's because of this menace right here. You know, somehow, some way, all the girls liked this dude and fought over him, and it was mad entertaining. Even more entertaining here, actually, because him and Hyesun were the main love interest, and out of all the projects to be reunited on, I would have never expected it to happen, you know, 3 years later on Bloody Game X, which is a double entendre, you know, because they're exes and things have changed. Quadruple entendre. Oh! The last member of the rookie team is such a surprising yet fitting cast for the franchise, and that's Shin Seung-young from Exchange 4, another one of my favorite IPs actually. And if you've seen the show, specifically his season, you know that this guy is a villain, okay? He went about a dating show like it was this show, where he tried to plot and scheme his way into love, and the producers probably saw that and just said, yeah, get that man an interview. But moving on now to the challengers team, we have Kim Yoo-hyun from The Genius. I actually watched The Genius fairly recently, and his performance was okay, nothing too notable. It's just that he's a survival game OG, but not a veteran. Like, he was there during the birth of the genre, but he didn't stick with it for 10 years the same way Jinho did. Because they're both poker players and they have similar vibes, I really want to see a 1v1 between him and Seungju from the Season 2 team. That would be so awesome. Alongside him, though, we have Kim Nam-hee from Time Hotel and Kang Ji-hoo from University War Season 3. This team is supposed to be franchise newcomers, but with previous experience on other shows. But the thing is, I have yet to watch like the Time Hotel or the third season of University War, so I'm just gonna I'm just gonna assume that because they have previous survival game experience and were prominent enough to be scouted for the show, that they'll do well, they'll be good. I really got to start on my backlog, but I just don't know anything about these people. And finally, the last contestant on this team is the one that everyone who is a fan of this genre is talking about: the long-awaited return of the main character of what most people consider to be the magnum opus of Korean survival, The Genius Season 4 Grand Final. After a pathetic elimination in the previous season, he was brought back as comic relief and went on a generational run to earn the title of Kingslayer. Chaos incarnate Kim Kanhun. Are you kidding me, bro? In the Big 26, this guy's coming back. Man, I can't believe it. They really brought back all the OGs except Oh Hyun-min. I give him the token of invulnerability. But I just can't believe I've lived long enough to see this. Like, honestly, I'm just excited. I don't actually think that Kyung-hoon is that good, just in general. Like, I think he had a bit of a Lin Sanity moment, lightning in a bottle moment, where for a period of time it felt like a divine power just wanted to stop him from ever knowing defeat. But he's an exciting player for sure, with a playstyle focusing on causing chaos and turmoil. And dude, to see him interact with Sangmin and Jinho after a decade, especially Sangmin, man, I used to pray for times like this, and by that, I mean, like, literally last year, because that's when I watched The Genius. But now that we've went through the cast, I want to do my own fan casting and then predictions. If I had to change this list, starting with the Season 1 team, Jimin has to stay. That's non-negotiable. Same with Taekyun, since he won. But actually, instead of Sangmin and Big Woo, I would have Dex and Yunsung. A, because they're fan favorites, aka some of my favorites. And they have their own unique styles. And like, B, like, they just have their own unique styles. Which have been proven to yield results. Like, come on, Dex versus Ha Sung-jin 2, round 2? That would be so cool, bro. That would be so sick. But I mean, since Dex is probably too big for the franchise now, a more realistic option would be to switch out Big Woo with Junyoung. I think Bloody Game is actually the only TV show appearance that guy ever did, and it's a shame because I would have liked to see a lot more from him. He was good. I know, he was just a good player. For Season 2, yo, nuke the whole generation. Okay, actually, since Jin Young won, he deserves to stay. But have him, Jinho, Zitza, Yurisa. That team would just win the show. I think that's way too overpowered, but it would be so fun. Like, that's such a good, like, all-star vibe. It's also interesting, though, that they decided to slot in both Jinho and Zitza into the Season 3 team, despite them starting off in Season 2 and arguably having a way bigger impact on the show in season 2. For the season 3 team, I mean, you gotta have Dongmin. That's a no-brainer. And if we're gonna keep Hyesun and Sungbum, the person I would have wanted to see return is actually Lee Jina. I think she had one of the craziest moments in the show where she just executed that guy in the poker deathmatch. For the rookie team, I mean, if we're doing all stars from Singles Inferno and Exchange, alongside Gwanhee and Sungyeong, I want to see Sam Kim from Singles Inferno season 4, the quant trader. And I mean, if you're gonna bring in someone from Exchange, there's just no one better than Hyungyu from Exchange 2. You know, my nemesis, may his name ever be forgotten. I don't even want to talk about that because that devil's plan. For the challengers team, I mean, Kyung-hoon obviously stays, but give him Sang-min. I think you give him Shin Ah-young. And you know what? Give him Napoli Matvia. Now for predictions. Okay, here's the thing, okay? Even though I want the season 1 team to win, and they definitely can, the clear favorite is the season 3 team. Like, just because their stats are so high, like 4 well-rounded players, all experienced, on paper, great team chemistry. Team 1 can win because you just never know with Sang-min since he's so creative with his tactics. You know, he can create something out of nothing. That's what he's known for. But my worry is that Taekyun will just go down in the history books as like a one-hit wonder. And Jimin's skill set also really overlaps heavily with Sang-min. They're both pure political players where that can only get you so far, but I mean, you never know. Big Woo, though, is a lost cause. I hope he enjoys the show, though. And speaking of lost causes, Team 2, yo, they have the most physicality, I'll give them that, but you know, the physical challenges are usually like early to mid game, and there's probably like just one. If they win, it's because Jin Hyung carries them, okay? Actually, if they win, yo, Jin Hyung deserves to be in GOAT conversations. I don't care, bro. Retire his jersey because that's unfathomable. The rookie team is just also not winning because fundamentally they are a group of people with zero experience, and you know, experience actually makes a world of difference. It actually matters. Yeah, the challengers could win, but I really doubt it since I don't know all the players. I can't say for sure, like definitively, but you know, that's just the vibe I'm getting. Like if Kyung-hoon manages to come back from hiatus and win another one, like he wants to win the Larry O'Brien trophy again, yo, there will definitely need to be talks of a certain sequel matchup that will have to happen in, you know, Big 27 onwards, because, you know, how will that affect Dongmin's legacy? But you know what? I'm just hyped for the show. That's it. Goodbye.